going on, Jerome's? Our handsome, recently extended head coach, Kevin O'Connell, quarterback whisperer, offensive mastermind, except for in the red zone and fourth and inches. Yeah. But he was on the Dan Patrick Show, which KOC on DP, I had to look up in Urban Dictionary just to make sure that didn't mean anything. Sounds weird. Right. But O'Connell, of course, was asked by Dan Patrick what's going on with the Vikings quarterback situation. J.J. McCarthy, slinging Sammy Darnold, like, hey, America's quarterback, all that stuff. Is it going to be J.J.'s turn? What about Darnold? What about this and that and this and that? And Darnold, respect, had a really damn amazing season. And frankly, if it ended better, if he had stepped up nicely in the Lions and the Rams game and maybe went on a little bit of run, this would be a more cut and dried conversation, because at a certain point during the year, we've even said, because we tried to call a spade on this show, when Darnold was going on that 7-game Linsanity type run where he's clearly playing like a top 5 quarterback, he was going to be back, because you hope that J.J. McCarthy would play at that level, and Darnold was doing it against some damn good defenses as well. But the way that it ended quite possibly cost Darnold like $50 million guaranteed this offseason. That's how bad things were in the biggest stage. So it is what it is, right? But the Vikings, 14 wins don't happen without Sam Darnold. He was a part of that, hashtag QB wins. But also J.J. McCarthy, highest drafted quarterback team history. You moved up to go get him, and he's going to be your dude long term. Hell, if he didn't have that knee injury and surgery, could he have been the dude right away? Or at any point during his rookie year? Certainly possible and plausible, right? And then you got Daniel Jones' goofy ass. Like, well, what happens with him? But Kevin O'Connell was talking about it at length, and beyond all the platitudes of like, oh, it's an ongoing process, blah blah blah. O'Connell said some really insightful things in this interview. He said this, quote, "We're evaluating how we're going to move forward and put the best possible team together in 2025 and beyond." Now, I do think that there is a conversation with Darnold. Yes, the Vikings weathered the dead cap storm last year to have a bunch of space this year, but those plans could change. And did Darnold play well enough that you're like, okay, we're going to dedicate a portion of the cap savings towards Darnold, and then we'll build around him there? Or is it still hell for leather to build the team around J.J. McCarthy on his rookie deal, which is a huge competitive advantage? TBD. We know we're excited about J.J. McCarthy. He confirmed a lot of things we had hoped to see from him before, unfortunately, being hurt. And then Sam took advantage of this opportunity and has put himself as a premier player at the position going into free agency. He's right on all accounts. And McCarthy, beyond just a great preseason game against the Raiders, in camp, every single day, J.J. McCarthy was getting a little better, and it was a near-on thing. Darnold obviously played well, and he was the unquestioned QB1 throughout camp, but I wonder what would have happened if McCarthy was healthy for those last 2-3 weeks of training camp and preseason. Would he have caught Darnold? I'd say probably not, but would he have been right on his heels during the season, right? And would Darnold... I think it greatly benefited Darnold that J.J. McCarthy wasn't behind him, because I think just... mentally, I think it helped Darnold that he was the guy, right? Where he didn't have to look over his shoulder after every interception or every bad decision. Like, he was going to be the guy, and I actually think that helped him with his confidence, which is very important, as we've seen at the quarterback position. Continuing. A lot goes into it. We haven't made that decision yet. I talked to all three, J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones, as well as Sam Darnold. JJ's here at the facility every day, which is the least shocking part of this interview. Like, it's the least shocking revelation. J.J. McCarthy, he's a grinder. He gets after it. He's watching film. He's on the practice field, and that's why you've heard all of the updates, because McCarthy's been there, right? And it could be a spot too, like a player has surgery. Sometimes they're a recluse. Sometimes they're working out on their own with their own guys, but J.J. McCarthy wants to be part of this area, and he wants to be part of this team, and he's buying in. Like, he bought Joe Mauer's house, and he's just grinding every single day, just trying to get better and better. That's the mentality that you want. So that is the least surprising part about all of this. But it is surprising too, where Kevin O'Connell said he talked to Sam yesterday for a long time, talked to Daniel Jones for a long time. I just want those guys to know that there's an element in this where our relationship matters. Communication between me and those guys has to be paramount, and the agents and our front office, those conversations will go on, but we will try to, but what what we try to build here is something that I hope is always beyond that, above that, especially me personally with the players. So this is why I think Kevin O'Connell is an emotional IQ genius. Just what he says, and then he obviously backs it up, right? Because he does care about Sam Darnold as a person, J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones as a person, right? And I feel like part of it is he's sowing these seeds, right? Like he's talking to Anthony Richardson after the game, and all these conversations that he has with players around the league. In a way, it's almost a form of like super nice tampering, and he does all of this advertising on these national shows like Dan Patrick, where it's like, I'm a nice guy, I care about you, come play for me. All right, and I actually think that this greatly helps with recruiting, and it can be twofold. I don't think that he's just doing this for show, just to be manipulative with his players. I think he genuinely cares about players. Like, I think he does, and I think that he sort of retroactively reverse engineered how he was treated as a player, how he wants to be treated as a person, and he became that type of coach. He became that type of a mentor for these players as well. So, J.J. McCarthy's in the building. I think it's awesome that he talks with Darnold and Daniel Jones a lot. Also, if he doesn't, this easily could be refuted. Like, I know that Darnold, and I don't even think Daniel Jones does social media, but they can just be like, no. So obviously it's true. And I think it's great because this time of year, agents are just essentially lawyers, right? So during these negotiations, you if you're the agent, you would say, do not talk to your former team. Do not talk to anyone, right? Because Kevin O'Connell, potentially sweet talking Sam Darnold to take less. Maybe it's like, we got a great thing here, and we're coaching you well, and you got weapons, and you were very comfortable. You had a lot of success here. I mean, how much is money? What's the difference between $25 million and $30 million besides $5 million? Bud, brah. Also, it's funny that he stays in contact with Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is a bit of a wild card in this spot too, because for all the openings for Darnold, Daniel Jones will have those opportunities as well. But like we said, he already chose the Vikings once, last year when he became a free agent. I think that he could do it again if Darnold leaves, because I think that there is value in staying with a winning organization and getting some great coaching. And if something happens with McCarthy, he will have this opportunity to inherit a Cadillac, right? But I do think that if Darnold leaves, it's clearly a J.J. McCarthy show. They're not bringing in Aaron Rodgers. They're not doing the whole Daniel Jones is going to start or breathe the bridge quarterback. It's going to be J.J. show. And like I said, the least surprising thing at all is that he's in the facility every day. But more fatties along the offensive line. It's probably what I say to Kwesi every day. More fatties along the offensive line and defensive line, by the way. Just build things up so we can win in the trenches. So there you go. But I do think that Kevin O'Connell is genuine in this spot. I actually do think that he's a little bit torn of what he wants to do long term at quarterback spot. Now, like I said, I think that it's a good thing that there is separation between church and state with him and Kwesi will make the best decision for the team and Kevin O'Connell's guide and direction. But I do think that ultimately it is going to be J.J. McCarthy's show, but I guess we'll find out. But your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell on the Dan Patrick Show. Talk about some interesting things beyond the whole, it's an ongoing process, with Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, even with Daniel Jones. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, his thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best to do. Skull production value.